My name is Seyeon Hwang, and I am here today at World Relief Jacksonville in Jacksonville, Florida, to interview you for this oral history project that we're doing. Can you please tell us your name and spell it out for us?
My name is Lidiya Dudenkova, Lidiya, and last name Dudenkova, Dudenkova.
All right, so I would like to start by asking you a question of your hometown. Can you please tell us a little bit about your hometown?
Yes, I was born in Ukraine in a small city. The name of the city, Konotop. It was about 100,000 people were living there. I was living there for the 17 years until I graduated from high school. So I was born there and I was living with my family there.
Now, after leaving your hometown and before coming to Jacksonville, where and when have you lived?
After this, I went to the bigger city in the Ukraine. The name is Kharkov city. I went there to college. And I was there for almost 3 years in the college. And after college, I started to work over there for about next 3 years. And in 1983, I was married, and we moved to a different city. And we were living with my husband in the other city in the Ukraine. And then we moved to Russia for 3 years and went back to Ukraine again. It was like lots of moving. Mm-hmm. And we came to United States in 1994. It's almost 24 years ago.
It's been a long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Was Jacksonville your first city?
No, the first we came to Washington State. We came also through World Relief. Mm-hmm. In Washington State, there was a small city, Walla Walla, because we had some relatives there. Mm-hmm. So we just came to our relatives, and we lived over there for 2 years. And after this, in 1996, we moved to Lincoln, Nebraska. Mm-hmm. And we lived there for 1 year. And after Lincoln, Nebraska, we moved to Tennessee, Cleveland, Tennessee. This is a small city. And we used to live there for 8 years. And finally, we moved here in 2005.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's long way from west to east.
Indeed, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you've been done a world
yeah.
tour of your own.
Yeah, it's a lot of moving, but probably that's it.
Okay. Well, great. Yeah, that's great. And within Jacksonville, did you have to move a lot?
We used to live in North Side for 5 years, I believe, and then we moved to South Side. Just one time we moved within Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. Because actually, me and my husband, we have 6 kids. When they were married, we just moved to a smaller house.
In South Side?
Yeah.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, awesome. Okay, it seems like I now have a better background of you. Now let's pick out the 3 topic cards that you want to talk about.
I can tell about my family, about school, and what else? Community, maybe.
So, which one would you like to start talking?
Maybe I will start to talk about school.
School.
Yeah, as you know, I came here in 1994. We came here as a Christian because we came as a refugee, and we're Christians, and we were persecuted in the former Soviet Union because this was a communist country. So I will tell about the school. I always been in the school very good student. I had all A's. And I always wanted to go to some university, but it was not possible because I was not the Komsomol. I was not enrolled to any communist part. So, and it was not allowed Christian to go to have high education. So After high school, I tried to go some university, but it was not possible. They told even if you have very high grades, you cannot be. You need to just forget about your Christianity, and then we can enroll you. So I couldn't do. So I just finally got to one college, and I got all A's also there, but to have more high education, I couldn't. I always dreamed to be like my favorite subject was mathematics, and also I like English because I was studying English in the school. So I was, in my dream, I was like, maybe one day I can be the interpreter somewhere, but let's just dream, not more. And after we moved to United States, I had opportunity to go again back to school. So I went just to improve my English to English classes in Washington State. And then in Cleveland, I went to Cleveland Community College. I graduated from there, and I have business accounting degree. And actually I wanted to go like for higher education, but because of my big family, I supposed to go to work. But the education I got from Cleveland State College, it was very helpful because I opened the business in 2001. So I had bakery business. So it helped me to manage my business or accounting, what I did. So that's a little bit about school. And I think the education I couldn't get, my children could get this education. I have 6 kids, 3 boys and 3 girls. When we came here, they were very small, like the oldest one was just 10 years old and the youngest just 5 months. So during these 24 years, they did a lot in the school. They were the best students in the school. Actually, when we moved here, 5 of them been the students at UNF. Only the older one, he just had some classes at FCJ, and then he went to pharmacy school. Right now, all my kids have at least master's degree. 3 sons have doctor's degrees, and 3 daughters master's degrees. So I'm thinking God is very faithful, because the education I couldn't get, my kids could get this education. So 2 of my sons, they have a degree, they are doctors, pharmacists. And one of my sons, he's graduating from, actually, he had bachelor's degree at UNF. He was the best student in the chemistry, and he was accepted to Rochester Mayo Medical School. This is one of the best medical school. He graduated from there, and he did residency over there, and right now he's a doctor at Rochester Mayo Clinic. This is, as you know, maybe this is the most popular clinic not only in the United States, in the whole world. So he's working as a doctor, and 2 of my daughters, they're nurse practitioners. And actually 5 kids are in the medical field. And one, my daughter, she has a master's degree in history. So that's like maybe a little bit. I talk a little bit about my family. And right now they're all married. And right now I have 11 grandkids. So it's a huge family, but I'm very thankful God that He could help us to move here, because in our country where we used to live, they couldn't get this education, and lots of opportunities here. So,
can you tell us a little bit about your life back in your hometown?
Yeah, in our life was very hard. I was raised in the family of 12. My parents had 12 kids. So we were and also we've been the Christians, we were persecuted in the school, and we couldn't get any good job over there. It was very hard to live there. And also sometimes when we had the Christians all together, the police could come and just took some, for example, my husband was in jail for 15 days. My father-in-law was in jail for 3 years because he was a pastor of the church. So it was a lots of persecution over there. And that's why we moved here. Yeah, and we were like poor people. We didn't have like lots of money. We just had money just for some food or some clothes. So when I'm thinking how I used to live before, like it's like very, very big difference. Yes.
Was your family, were you raised as Christian?
I was born in the Christian family, yes. Yeah. And my husband the same. Yeah. And when I was in this school, there's not many Christians. I was just only one in my class. It's just from 30 people in the class, I was just one. And some kids were laughing at me because I'm Christian, or like, it was like, for example, my sister, she was beaten a few times because she's Christian, and some other kids had a lot of persecution.
Now, you said that now you moved to another city within Ukraine.
Yeah, in the college. Yeah, in college, I don't know how, because it's not possible to even graduate even for college for just regular, associate degree. But I think the director of the college, maybe he wasn't Christian, but he was like, had very good relationships, so that's why I could graduate and some more Christians could be in this college. But if I could go, I remember I decided to go to different college, and the director said, no, you cannot be here. Even if you will do the best, even if you will be the best student, because you are Christian, we will disenroll you. So this was reality.
How was the life in that city? What can you please?
This is a big city. This is the second city after the capital of Ukraine, Kiev, and the Kharkov is the second city. The life was very interesting. I had lots of friends in the church, in the community, but it was maybe very hard for me to survive because my parents wasn't rich. They just the big family. And sometimes I was walking and were hungry and just eating small piece of bread during the day. But it's okay, I was always had joy and I was happy all the time because I knew that God will provide for me and He will just, He knows what better for me. So I tried to be a student, and on the other hand, I tried to find some kind of job to have just at least some money to survive.
What were the jobs that you?
One time was working like cleaning something, and after a few years, I found some office job when I was in like almost the last year in the college. I could find something, but this was just small money to help somehow. Yeah.
And you said that after getting your degree,
I found a job. It was like more. I had more money, but it was like barely, because actually the life in Ukraine was like not easy. So it was a little bit better for me, and I was working there for 3 years. After this, I got married, and then my husband provided for me.
Was your being a Christian got in the way of getting a better job?
No. So it's not possible. I was working like after college. I was working in my like field, but not high position, just like regular, even the lower positions that I was supposed to work.
Was it because of your religion, do you think?
It's religion, yeah, on the other, and also, yeah, it's most about this.
If you did not have, if it wasn't for your religion,
I could get higher education, I could have higher position. Yeah.
Now, you also say that you have lived in Russia. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, because my husband from Russia. Yeah, we used to live in the former Soviet Union. It's like it was the 15 republics. It's like here maybe some states. So he's from Russia. I'm from Ukraine. So at one point we decided to move to the place where his parents lived and his relatives. So went to Russia for 3 years, and then we moved back after 3 years. We moved back to Ukraine.
Where did you live in Russia, and how was it like?
It was this small city. Actually, it's some village. We got some house over there, and we used to live there. It was like close to maybe 500 miles to Moscow, the capital of Russia. Yeah, the life was good. Yeah, we had lots of relatives, some help for me, because this time I had 5 kids, so it was a little bit hard for me. And it was a good time there.
Would you say there was less persecution in Russia?
By this time, the persecution started to be just less and less, because the communists just started to fall down. It was less persecution, yeah.
Did it make your life also a bit easier?
No, I don't think it was much easier, because the economic was very bad. It's not. But we tried. My husband was working very hardly, and we had some garden at our house, so we was living not too bad. It was better than I was like a child, and it was better.
And why did you decide to move back to Ukraine?
Actually, my husband was a pastor, and they called us. There was some church, and they asked him to come back because they needed help. So we went back there.
And you lived in Ukraine for another
3 years. When we moved, after 3 years, we moved here. We got just invitation and opportunity to come here. So we decided to move here, because we didn't know what will happen in the future, and for better future for our kids, we decided to move here.
Can you tell us can you give us more details on how you were invited and how the application for resettlement and all those went through?
Yeah, our relatives, my husband's sister, she moved here earlier. I don't know how she got here. I think somebody invited her, but when she came here, she could apply for relatives, like brothers, sisters, close relatives. So she applied for our family, and we were called for interview to Moscow. And we've been interviewed. They asked us about persecution, what we had in our life, and we got refugee status. And then in maybe 6 months, we just already had tickets to come here. So I remember when we came here, in 1994, it was very economically, Ukraine was in bad situation. I remember when I was pregnant with my child, I couldn't find anywhere any vitamins, any fruits, any vegetables, even any juice. It was just to support my health with any vitamins. It was very hard. And when we moved here, when we came to United States, all our relatives were meeting us at the airport, and they brought for us just hot dogs and some bread and something else, I don't remember, some cookies. I was very happy to eat this food, because before we couldn't afford this.
Were you still pregnant with your?
No, I already had a baby. He was 5 months old. Yeah, and first time I remember we came in September, but some students from high school, they pick up our family, just bring some gifts for Christmas. In our country, it was not allowed to celebrate Christmas and even to give some gifts. My kids never had gifts. So I remember the high school students, they brought lots of gifts for our kids. It was probably half of living room with it. They brought a Christmas tree, all decoration, kids for each child. Maybe each child has up to 10 gifts. So my kids were very, very happy. They never had this, and they were thankful to these students and for God that He just provided for them this stuff. It was Right now they can donate some money for other people, but at this time it was like very hard time for us.
So was that in Walla Walla? Was that
Walla Walla.
Yeah, that was
Walla Walla. Did you hear about this city? No, it's like close to Spokane. It's about 50,000 people live there.
And how was your life there?
It was good. We didn't work for first time. We had some like benefits from DCF, but our requirement was to go to ESL classes. So I was in the school every day. They gave to us babysitter for my two smaller kids for 3 hours. So I was like faithfully going to college every day because I really wanted to learn English and just to have some education, more education.
The babysitter service, was it provided by?
By DCF. They paid, but it was small pay, but it still was very helpful for her.
Clarify what the DCF?
We applied for, it's called welfare, like, so we had food stamps, we had some cash assistance, and plus they paid for our mileage and babysitter. They paid per hour maybe $1.25. But one of our relatives, she decided to just watch our baby, 2 kids, and because they are not in school. The other 4 been in school. Yeah.
So it seems like there was some support from your families, your extended relatives.
Actually, relatives help some, but the government support us because we came as a refugee, so they.
Yes. So the financial support.
Yeah, and the relatives, yes, help with the appointment first time to interpret and. Yeah.
What about the refugee communities there, or your ethnic community?
Yeah, there was about maybe 100, maybe 200 people from our community. We always been like involved in the church, so the people from the church help us also as well, like to go to some appointment, show something, to take somewhere, to help to buy a car or something like this. And we had lots of relatives, like cousins, like this.
Compared to living in, say, like a big city like Jacksonville, how would you say what were some of the challenges or pros to living in?
Yeah, for example, when we used to live in Cleveland, I like Cleveland because it's like their schools are very good over there. It was very good for my kids. But when they grow up, they need to go to university somewhere bigger cities. So we're supposed to move. The first time when I moved here, I was like afraid to even to drive because we used to live on the north side. There's a bridge. I need to drive every day. So I was just like afraid. But right now I'm okay, and it's like more opportunities. And thanks God, all my kids got education here, and they got very good jobs, so it's very good to live here.
What would you say were 3 big challenges, though, in your way, entering resettlement in the United States? If you were to name at least 3 challenges, what would they be?
Yeah, 3 challenges. I think the one was like to find a job. We started from very low job. It was very hard without English, so especially for my husband, because I learned English a little bit in this school. My English was better than his, so when he started to work for 660 and working very hardly, but like step by step, we just moved. And then also when we were moving, it was like hard to move with the kids. And
did you have to move a lot? From not just from city to city, because obviously you moved.
No, visit the city. Yeah, we
moved. The city?
Yeah, in Cleveland we moved maybe 3 times because we used to live there. First time when we came there, we used to in government house and apartments, and then we bought the first house, or we moved to the house. Yeah. It's like a little bit. But overall, I think it's not like the very big problem or very because some friends and the community and relatives help us with all this stuff.
If you had to name another one, what would be another challenge that you think you faced?
It was a little bit hard for me when we moved here to find a job. New city, and I couldn't find maybe for the first 6 months. And there's just one day my daughter came and she said, "Oh, there is opportunity to work at Waterleaf. They invited me, but I'm in the school now. Maybe you will go." Because I used to work a little bit for some refugee agency in Cleveland, so to take to an appointment, so it was a little bit hard. Yeah, and for my husband, I remember maybe 8 years ago, he lost his job, and he was unemployment 5 months, and he couldn't find a job. It was a little bit hard. Mm-hmm. But overall, but we were trying all the time to work and to find something.
When you decided to come to Jacksonville, why was it?
Because here we had a business in Cleveland, and we decided to just that here we'll have more opportunities for our business. We had bakery business, but when we came here, we started our business. It was very strict. Everything with the health department, all requirements, and we decided to just close this business because we couldn't survive with what they required and what we do. It's not like good profit. And the other, we decided to move because our kids supposed to have they wanted to have higher education in the Cleveland. We didn't want them to move out right away. So if they stay with us, it's less money they can save some money. So, and this is the main reason.
Mm-hmm. Were there any other cities that you considered before moving to Jacksonville?
No, because our daughter was here in the Bible school. They liked the church, and they had lots of friends here. So we just wanted to do something what is better for our kids. We were taking care of our kids. We always wanted to that our kids could be involved in the church and have very good friends. So this is our main reason.
Now, can you tell us a little bit about your business, your bakery? Was it a bakery shop?
Yeah, it was bakery. It's in Cleveland. We had business. We were allowed to have at our house in the basement. We just built a small bakery. We were baking cakes. And we rented small place where we were selling these cakes. And also we were delivering cakes to some Russian, Bosnian stores. Yeah, it was very successful over there, but still not maybe enough because the whole family were working. So it was like family business. My husband was working with me, my kids helping me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and our plan was to move here and have more profit to support the family because it's a big family. But we just started to count, and we decided we will not have more work but less profit with all requirements here and all payments. So, and we just decided to close the business, and my husband started to looking for a job. He start to work at maintenance technician, and finally in 6 months I found this job. So I'm working here 12 years.
How did you come up with an idea of starting a bakery shop?
When I was working in the office, and sometimes I was baking cakes and bringing to my coworkers. And one of my coworker, my friend, she said, "Oh, you need to open the business. Your cakes are very nice, and everybody will just buy cakes and eat." So I just started to decide. I started to bake just small portion, offer to some restaurants, some stores, and they took these cakes to sell, and it started to be more and more, step by step. So it was in average, I was baking 40 cakes a day. Yeah, and the Christmas time was the most busy time. I remember one Christmas I baked in one day 120 cakes. Mm-hmm. Of course, my husband, my kids helped me.
How do you think having your business helped you or your life, not just financially, but also in terms of building connections with this community?
I think it's helped me also. The main reason, of course, not financially, the main reason I wanted to keep my kids, like to teach him how to work. And also I didn't want them to go to different, because they know they're all college students, they go to different places to work, some like at pizza's place or some KFC or somewhere else. I didn't want them to go somewhere. I wanted to be like the family, to work in the family business. And it was working very good. They helped me a lot. They learned how to make cakes, how to sell. We had very nice time when during the fall time, there was lots of festivals, like different, and like we had very nice time at this time. So my kids, even right now, they remember how they spend this time together, and also around people. Almost everybody knows me in Cleveland, right? Even now, it's already 13 years. Sometimes they're calling, "Where is your bakery? We miss your cakes." Because they came a few times to our bakery and took interview, and then they put always. I was announced in the radio, and I was a very known person in the city. My business was Lidiya's Fine Russian Bakery. So that was very popular. And actually, across from the street, there was my neighbor. She was a pharmacist, and a few years in a row, she ordered me about 30, 50 cakes, and she gave as a gift for all doctors in the city. And all doctors knew about me. So when I moved here, and my father, he still lives in Cleveland, and he had heart surgery, and he went to visit a doctor. And the doctor says, "Where are you from?" He said, "I'm from Ukraine." He says, "Do you know by chance, here was one lady, she was selling very yummy cakes and she disappeared. Her name is Lidiya. Do you know her?" He said, "This is my daughter." And she moved. So that was very funny. People still remember me. And yeah, I had very good connection with people, and they were calling me, ordering. Yeah, my popular cake was day and night. It's very popular cake, and people were asking, "Why you named this cake?" I told, number one, it looks like day and night because it was one layer white, one dark, like chocolate layer. So the other reason, when you start to eat this cake, you will eat day and night. It's very, and when the Christmas time or Thanksgiving, I need to bake this cake day and night because it's very, everybody's asking for this cake.
Who were the majority of women, in terms of your customers, the composition of your customers, who were the main customers? Was it your people in the Russian or
the Russian
community?
No, American people. Because we had just small Russian-Ukrainian community, and everybody in our community could bake. They will not spend, but American people, yeah. Because the first year I was advertising my business in the mall. I rented every Saturday. I rented small place. I just gave away some samples, and people knew about my cake. And then majority was American people. And plus we started to deliver cakes to Atlanta. This is a big city. There's 10 Russian stores, so I also would deliver it to there for Russian community, Russian, Ukrainian.
Do you hope that you could have been able to keep the business going in Jacksonville too? Do you think that would have
I don't think. I'm very glad that I just closed my business because it's very hard work. Very hard and not good profit. Yeah, because it's homemade cakes. It's not like it's very hard work and very expensive ingredients. I didn't want just to put something like to change with ingredients. Even the prices went up for some, like my ingredients, I still was keeping the same. So that's why my cake was very popular. Yeah. So I'm glad that I had this business, because to grow my family, and I was at home all the time and just watching my kids, and they helping and they were learning how to do, what to do. Yeah.
What made it so hard for you to do the business in Jacksonville aside from the high price of ingredients?
The high price for the rent expense, and plus the more like requirements to have license here. So it's a lot of stuff different. And plus my kids just were the students, they didn't have time to help me more, so we decided just close.
I would have wanted to taste the day in that cake.
Okay, next time. I will have your number, right? I will call you. When I will bake next time, I will call you. Yeah.
Now, you also mentioned that you once lived in subsidized housing in
Yeah.
Cleveland.
Yeah, we used to live there maybe for 1 or 2 years, because when we moved there, our kids were very small. Just my husband was working, I was in college. So we used to live just sometimes, and one of my daughters says, "Mom, we need to buy a house. We're not poor people. We need to be like everybody." So, and then when I graduated, I started to work, and my husband was working. We were able to buy a house. It was not a big house, but it was just enough for my family. Yeah.
How was it? How was it living in a subsidized housing environment? The people, the community, or the facilities?
It was like not the best one, but it was okay. And community was good. We had very good relationship with surrounding people. Yeah, it was not like dangerous or something. No, it was very good, because actually Cleveland City, it's more Christian city. Lots of churches over there, not like here. And people, like, even in the Cleveland, as you know, there's no, at the time when we used to live there, there's no any store that didn't sell alcohol. So it's like, it was not dangerous. So, and we were good there. It was very big help from government when we used to live there. We paid just not much money. And my husband was working, and he has maybe $11 or $12 an hour for this big family, and plus we had some food stamps. It was very helpful, thanks God and thanks government that they help us until I graduated from college. And then I started to work immediately.
When you said there was a good community, were there regular interactions with the people that were living in the apartment complex? How were they particularly welcoming?
You would just talk with them, just had, but we didn't have a lots of like relationship, but we were very good, just talking, help if they need something, we could help and ask them something. Yeah.
Were there any known refugees that were also living in the apartment?
In this city, we didn't have lots of refugees. It's just not many. Some of our relatives were living there, but only some people were living. Mm-hmm.
When you're living in the town, would you also go out to park and?
Yes, of course. Yeah, yeah. And my children were very involved in the schools, and they're still very good friends with the teachers, and they've been everywhere. Yes, and they were involved.
Now, and then you owned your first home in Cleveland?
Yeah, we owned the first home, and then we sold the first house and built here in Jacksonville. We ordered to build a new one.
Okay. Can you tell us more about that experience of how it was to buy your first home in Tennessee?
Yeah, it was like huge, because it's the first house. We bought this house in 1999. It's about 5.5 years after moving to the United States. So we were very happy to buy this house. I remember we were supposed to pay some like down payment, but we didn't have money. But at this time we got some a refund from taxes. Do you know tax returns? Because we have lots of kids. We had some, like about 4,000, so we put in down payment. We were very happy that we could make this. And this house was not expensive, but we could afford to pay for this house. And then kids were very happy that finally they are not depending on the government housing, and then we have own house we can pay. And my girls were very happy to clean everything, and then and we had lots of big yard around, so they were playing and it was very nice. Yeah.
What were the factors that you considered when you were buying your first home?
Because we knew that your own home is much better than renting something.
Yes. So
We're the owners, yes, and we can just maybe in the future make some money. When we were selling, my husband just repaired something, put something new, and when we were selling, we just got some profit a little bit. So when we got this profit, we could put in the down payment here when we were building the new house.
Was it after you bought your first home that you started your business?
Yeah, we started because we had some basement. My husband just built the bakery because it was allowed in Tennessee, was allowed to have the business at home, but there's some requirements how to do this. It's supposed to be separate entrance, and all equipment we're supposed to put there. Yeah, so it was good to have a business at home also. But here it's totally different. It's not allowed here. Yeah.
So tell me, can you tell us about your home in Jacksonville, the home that you transitioned into?
Yeah, we built the house. We ordered it. It was built in 5 months, very quick. It was 4-bedroom house, maybe not because my kids grow up, and then it was not enough space for everybody. But they split the rooms for 2 or 3 in one room. And then it was very good, very nice house. The new one, of course, new one is always, even everything in the house was cheap stuff, everything. We didn't upgrade anything because we didn't have money, but it still new, was very good. And we had very good neighbors around. From the neighbors, we had very good relationship with them. And the school was okay for kids. Not the best school, but it's okay. My daughter was in the school. But she graduated very well. She was a valedictorian in the school, and very good. And my son, he was a basketball player. He found lots of friends immediately. And it was a very good experience to live over there.
And how were the neighbors?
The neighbors, they were from I don't remember for which country, but neighbors were from very different countries.
Mm-hmm. And they were all very much, having strong sense of...
Yes, yeah, this was very good community, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we've touched on school, family, and
community, yeah.
All that. I also want to ask you what education means to you, and how you were a woman,
Mm-hmm.
you were also a refugee, you were persecuted in your home country,
Mm-hmm.
and you've also been a mother. You've also been a student yourself. It seems like you've taken in a lot of different roles so far.
Yes.
So I would like to ask you what education, being a woman, and the refugee means in the United States.
Education means for me a lot. I think everybody needs to go to school. If you come here, if you don't know English, you need... I told everybody who's coming here, even to all my relatives who came after me, you need to just, maybe you will suffer with something and live maybe very will have, because some people trying to get a good job and don't without any English. I think you need to, the first number one, you need to learn English. It will be easier for you. And if possible, go and get some education. This was number one for me. Even with the big family, with 4 kids, I tried to do the best because I knew when we came here, my kids will learn English very, very quick. If you will not understand them, you will lose your kids because you don't understand, and it will be a big problem. And plus, when your kids will be older, you can go to work. You can get very good job, and also it's like for self-sufficiency. I feel much better. Maybe my English not perfect. I know it's not perfect, but still I feel very good that I did this way. Maybe I could get more education, but because of the family need, I couldn't go. But what I couldn't achieve in my life, I'm happy that my kids could do this. So right now, when we have difficulty, they can help us.
Would you say that among these, education, family, or maybe community, probably among the 3 topic cards that you chose, which would you be the most important for you? Among the 3 topic cards that you chose, which one would be the most important thing for you?
I think the family the most important. Because if you have strong family, there will be strong community. But the family without school, it's not possible. The family first, and school, education, then if you, yes, and then if you have education, good education, you can build the strong community, have good jobs. Yes.
Yes, that's. I think we've covered everything I wanted to cover. Do you have a specific experience or a story that you want to share with us that we could share?
Like living here, or yeah, I remember when we came to Walla Walla, my English was very slow, very small, and plus I was studying English, not English American, but England. It's a little bit different pronunciation. I remember when I went to the store, I decided to send some packages to Ukraine, and I was asking for boxes in the store. And the pronunciation in England, it says box. And I asked, do you have some boxes? And they were looking at me, and then I started to explain what does it mean. And finally it says boxes. I told, yeah, boxes. And also one time I went to the store, and my husband went to the store, and he bought 4 packages of hot dogs, but they charged him for 44 packages instead of 4. Accidentally, they charged 44, and he came home and showed me the receipt, and also they took money for 44. I told, why you paid for this? He said, I couldn't explain anything. So I decided to go to the store and explain and just have money back. So I went there and showed the receipt. I told, here's 44, here's 4, like that. And they understood me. They started to laugh because they didn't apologize. I don't know how they did, but they gave me money back for 40 packages of hot dogs. But I was very happy that I could explain. Yeah, there was some other stuff, but when you're studying English, it's very open. And we had very good experience with our kids in Walla Walla. Every Friday and Saturday, we went to garage sales because we couldn't afford to buy clothes in the store, so we had limited cash assistance. So we were going to garage sales, and each child had 25 cents or 50 cents, and they were bargaining to buy something. It was a very good experience for them, and they remember all the time. Yeah.
Did having your children and as they grew, they probably were able to well, what happens with some immigrant families where the parents don't speak perfect English, but the children get to learn English and they get to be proficient at it, and at some point they start helping their parents with the language. Was that also the case for you?
It's actually for me like sometimes when I'm writing something, I can ask my kids to correct my grammar or correct something. Yeah, my daughter, who is a history degree, she's perfect. She has perfect English, so sometimes they're helping me. Yeah, but I can. Usually we communicate with our kids in our language because number one, we wanted if they can keep when use it, they will learn English very quick. But if we will talk with them all the time in English, they will forget the Russian language. So we always speak with them in Russian. And plus, when use it, if they know at least 2 languages, they will have more opportunities. So we try to keep Russian. On the other hand, sometimes we're talking in English and they help us like with some grammar or something to explain, yeah.
Were there any moments as you were raising your children and as they got older where you couldn't explain something, say, to someone in English and they came and they helped you?
Yes, of course. Yeah, right now we're experiencing very bad experience in our life. My husband is very sick, so all the time when he has doctor's appointment, I always send my kids because they're in medical field involved, and then their English and even the medical words they know better than me, so I send them. And that's.
I know. Okay, I was gonna say.
So they always helping us when we need. Yeah.
So I was supposed to come at 12.
Well, did you have anything else that you wanted to share?
And
I don't know. That's probably
I
it.
think you had really interesting.
Yeah, I'm very thankful God. I don't know if you are Christian or not, but I'm very thankful God that He just had this way for us. It was very difficult. Actually, I didn't tell you that the most. You ask about most challenging. When we were moving here from Ukraine to United States, it was the hardest, maybe in my life, the hardest trip. I was thinking I will die during this flight. We changed 4 flights, and the kids, the youngest one was just 5 months old, and the main problem was it was the difference between day and night, and when was the night in our country, it was day, and they brought the food. My kids were sleeping. One day, wake up, there is no food. They're crying to food, and everybody were hungry and were exhausted. When we came to New York City, we were supposed to have spend night in the hotel. They didn't give us. We were staying about 10 or 15 hours without food until they decide where we need to fly the next our flight. So it was the hardest thing in my life when we moved here. But after this, step by step, we just. And also, I think that it means a lot. How is your if you are positive or negative to any others, optimistic or pessimist. I was trying to be all the time optimist, so it's helped a lot. Yes.
Have you also flown back to Ukraine after?
Yeah, I was there twice, because I still have there 5 brothers and 3 sisters, and my husband has some family there. So last time I've been there in 2012, almost 6 years ago. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I think we had a really good interview.